My name is Nick Dearden. I work for the Jubilee debt campaign, and we campaign against third world debt that's owed by developing world countries based on loans that should in many cases never have been given to them because it was about profiting our banks and rich countries rather than benefiting people in developing world countries.
These days, we're hearing a lot of talk about debt.
Subprime mortgages.
Financial write-downs.
Toxic assets.
But don't forget, the original toxic debt is third world debt.
Toxic debt.
Toxic debt.
Toxic debt. Now, you probably thought all that was cancelled in the year 2000, right?
A little was cancelled, but the vast majority of it still stands.
No, that's 100% cancellation, subject to meeting certain criteria.
Whatever.
It's all in the small print.
Yeah, right.
But we're coming at this from the wrong angle. It's toxic because it's illegitimate.
It's not out of the kindness of our hearts we want it cancelled. It's in the interests of global justice.
These debt agreements were often signed by corrupt, undemocratic rulers.
And it's only $10 billion.
Or forced through by economic coercion.
And we'll lend you the cash.
Not exactly what we'd call responsible lending.
In a recession starting in the developed countries,
It's the third world countries that will suffer most.
So we've got to push through debt cancellation.
Now, more than ever.
Check out these figures.
for every £1 we give to developing economies as aid, we get £5 back in debt.
Toxic debt.
£1 in aid, £5 back.
And why are some of the poorest countries in the world paying us anything at all?
We, the public, have bailed out Lloyds CSB to the tune of $24 billion.
1,000.
Whereas Bangladesh's total Western debt is only $20 billion.
1,000,000.
And then there's the AIG bailout at $170 billion.
1,000 million.
Just to put that into perspective, that's the equivalent of the total Western debt of sub-Saharan Africa at $173 billion.
So I'm thinking, if we can bail out the institutions that got us into this mess, then surely we can bail out the ones that didn't.
For the good of the global economy.
And it would cost a fraction of what we've paid in bailouts so far.
The people of the South have been mugged.
Campaigning doesn't cost much, as you can see.
Drop the debt.
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 An awful lot of third world debt is based on loans that did nothing to benefit people in the developing countries where that loan was actually spent. An awful lot of loans were given to dictators who spent money on weapons or spent money on completely useless projects that did nothing to benefit the health and education needs of people in those countries. Is it really just that the South African government of today is still repaying the past debts of the apartheid era government that should never have been receiving loans in the first place? Is it really just that the people of Indonesia today have to repay the debts of General Suharto, who used his loans to spend on weapons, oppressing those very people who are repaying the debts today? There's an awful lot that we can do to change this situation. When the Jubilee campaign first started working in the late 90s and campaigning on third world debt issues, we thought it was going to be a really long uphill struggle to get this debt cancelled. But already by 2005, we'd managed to get nearly $100 billion of this debt cancelled. We've got another $400 billion to go, but people shouldn't lose hope or think this is too big a thing to achieve.